Go, go, academic time. It does not rhyme. Go, go, academic time. Ahoy, hoy, gang. If this is your first time with us, welcome. And if you're joining us from our previous video, hey, we'd love to see it, and I hope you're doing well. Ah, man, the last American Dad episode before like a month break, because eventually we'll get more of this show. But today's not that day. We've already talked about the entirety of Family Guy Season 24. Largely a miss. Maybe something watchable. So where are we? Almost 10 episodes into a new season of Amercan Dad. Where does this episode stand? Well, there's really only one way to find out and 3 questions that must be asked, aren't there? What worked, what failed, what bath bomb bombardments will be curtailed? So don't go too far, because it's time to review Where the Wild Boars Are. Rhyming is hard. Alright, I'm a fair critic. If nothing else, I am fair. And I say this with all the love in my heart, especially coming into it hot off of, dude, you're getting Adele. Where the Wild Boars Are is fine. It's just sort of okay. But I think it's more a failure of execution than it is concept. And I really gotta celebrate that. Let's get into it, but the big thing is there is creativity at work. Let's get into the B story just so we have it out of the way. All right, so the B story is Roger makes a bang shed out in the woods. That's it. He brings in amenities and just wants people to bump it in his shed. That's all he craves. That's all he hungers for. But this entire episode is told through Jeff telling this story as a flashback from his winery as he's serving everybody. He goes to play in the woods, is attacked by a boar, and gets scared, and that's when Klaus warns him that if he doesn't get his act together and grow up, he's totally going to get Joe Swanson. If you know what I mean. Gonna be like the cuckoo bird, all that good stuff. I don't want to be demonetized. And so while out exploring in the woods, he comes across a house and finds a naked old man in there. He helps him up, and he's introduced to Bing, a true man of men who knows the mastery of being a man. And he promises Jeff he'll make him a man. Bing would be played by the only guest star of this episode, Joe Mantegna, who has never played any other voice acting roles whatsoever. I don't even know who Fat Tony is. That's right, the lead thief in Baby's Day Out and that guy from Criminal Minds is Bing. And I gotta say, he tries. He tries so hard. He does a little song, there's a little engagement there, and he helps Jeff sort of mature. He teaches him about wine, teaches him about how to make a good tomato and oil sandwich, and just sort of elevates the episode as a whole. Now, let's roll back the rock to the dawn of time and sing this song with me, if you will. That's a We're Back reference right there. Let's go back to season 17. More specifically, The Book of Fisher. The episode where we find out that Tuttle is in Witsec because Stan can't have a good conversation with people and is desperate for attention. Bing is a failed assassin for the Bingoni Mafia, the same mafia that Tuttle spoke against, and he failed because he didn't take out Tuttle. Jeff tells him where the one that got away is, and then has to stop his idol, his teacher, his mentor, from taking old man Tuttle out once and for all. And I really truly wish I had more positive things to say about this episode. I wish I could say I was rolling out of my chair laughing so hard. It was absolutely, masterful what they did here, and ultimately the episode is fine. It's okay. It doesn't really shine. But that's the problem. It's creative. It's so creative. It wrapped around to the Book of Fisher of all episodes and actually made it matter. And I love that. They did that without actually referencing the journal Jeff is writing in. And yet, that entire episode was also told through flashback of the cyborg school, which has nothing to do with this, which is also great. I love that Jeff's stories are told through these flashbacks that ultimately seem nonsensical, because that lines up with who Jeff is. And, I do like that Jeff is into wine, because the real Jeff Fisher, who voices Jeff Fisher, has a wine. He is a wine man. I love that for both of them. But yeah, the B story really needed something just a little bit stronger. Klaus and Haley were great together, and I like seeing Haley, defending Jeff and loving Jeff unconditionally, but I think we need to have a talk, because I think Haley being with Jeff might be illegal. This episode is not a standout episode of the season, but it is in perfect encapsulation of why this season and the show as a whole succeeds. Because they're not doing, hey, let's do a Tom Brady episode again. They're doing, hey, let's tie back into episodes from seasons ago. Let's harken back to Paranoid Frandroid or The Book of Fisher. And sometimes, again, with Dude, You're Getting Adele, that works really, really well, and it makes the episode that much funnier. And then this episode, if it had just been a bland story about Jeff, I feel like it wouldn't have had at least the potential of being good. There is still potential here. Even if I wasn't a fan of this episode, even if I probably will not revisit this episode too many times after this, the fact that they still wrote it with care, they still gave Jeff his time in the spotlight, they still gave us a story focused around Tuttle to some extent, when we were all ready to say he's never coming back, it gives me hope in a hopeless world. That's all I'm saying. This episode performed everything it's supposed to do, and just ultimately wasn't for me. It swung for the fences, it wasn't a home run, and that's fine. At least they tried. And we need to celebrate experiments that fail, because if they fail, they get us a little bit closer to successful experiments. And, the Bang Shed, it was fine. I was not thrilled with this Roger B story, and it feels like Roger, if they don't have like a good idea for him, the idea just fizzles almost immediately. Also, a very surprising lack of Stan. Like, I think he only had 2 or 3 lines this episode, and yeah, no, like I know we're branching out in the family, but give us a little bit more Stan. It is Amercan Dad. It's in the name. We had a Steve episode. We've had a Jeff episode. Let's bring it on back. Let's go back to our Stan man, the Stanimal. Come on. I believe in you. And, I get it. Like, the first 4 episodes are very much Stan and Francine, or Stan and Steve episodes. Stan and Roger with camera Stan. But, I mean, I don't know. I just, give us a little bit more Stan involvement. Even if it's just Stan in a B story. Give us him doing something else. Like, spice it up. Have him do something. Give me a little bit more Stan. Also, I would really enjoy if Joe Mantegna came back. He is a really good voice actor. I enjoy hearing him in things. And I thought he did a great job as Bing. I think Bing is an outstanding character. I like the dynamic between him and Jeff. I think the vibes were just off. Like, genuinely, vibes were just off. They're again, I know I'm rambling. I know I'm repeating myself. But there are so many elements that should work that just didn't, and that's fine. It's like a clock where gears aren't interlocking. They're just sort of grinding on each other, trying to push over. And that's okay, because that just means that the next episode is gonna be a banger, I hope. And honestly, I have not been disappointed this season at all. Plenty of okay episodes last season. This is definitely not the worst episode of Amercan Dad I've ever seen. Thumbnail. It's just the weakest of the season so far. And I really didn't think anything would go below All Rats a Pool Party, but hey, it kind of managed to. And that's okay. That's just okay. Where the Wild Boars Are is a boar poison including 6 out of 10. And there we have it. That was my review of Where the Wild Boars Are. Anything think I was right on? Wrong on? What was your favorite part of the episode? Least favorite? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like what you saw, consider liking, subscribing, hyping, and telling your friends. We're out here. Yeah, it may not have been the strongest episode, but it gets points for creativity. Not only did we get a new guest star in Joe Mantegna, but we also got an all-Jeff episode told via flashback and circling back to a previous episode about Tuttle that Jeff wasn't involved in. Oh, yeah. That is creative narrative world building right there. Give me more. Inject that into my veins. And I mean, sure, execution wasn't all that great. It was fine. It was a fine episode. Loved Klaus, because Klaus is quickly becoming my favorite character this season, but I think that's almost intentional. Like, even on low point episodes, you are getting better than most shows are able to put out in an entire season. It's not the best. It's definitely not the best. I cannot emphasize not the best. But man, they really went all in on this idea, and I gotta commend them for that. Also, again, Jeff Fisher makes wine, so having him open a winery, it's a nice touch. I like seeing it. I want to see more Jeff with wine and be able to drink Jeff Fisher wine one day. Oh, to dream. Anyway, that's going to do it for us here at the Lecture Hall. And if you want to support the channel, consider joining our member or Patreon program today. $2 a month gets you a name on this fancy list of champions that do champion awesome cool things all day, every day. They don't pick Sneaselore and Pokemon champions. No, they're better than that. They follow the meta of their hearts. Thank you all so much for watching. And like always, stay strong, keep fighting that good fight, and know that I'm proud of you. A rising tide lifts all ships. It's gotta. We gotta believe it lifts them. We gotta believe something can change. And I can feel one hell of a wave coming. So, goodbye, everybody, and I'll see you all next time.